everyone. Amy Belzer-Tennant here, the Genealogy Reporter, and today is Genealogy Tip Tuesday, but we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I got this inspiration from my kids. They love to watch YouTubers playing games. And I said, you've got the same game. Why don't you just play it and enjoy your time, actually playing the game yourself? They said, no, Mom, you can't do it that way. You gotta watch the YouTubers play it, the gamers. That way you learn all the inside tips, things that you might not know otherwise. And so I thought about that and wondered if there was a need to watch another genealogist and how they might attack a problem, or just attack a brand new project. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing a project with you, and you can watch me as the genealogy gamer. Let's go over to the computer and get started. Okay, so this is our game of genealogy. This is how I would attack a brand new project. This is one of my very favorite teachers from elementary school, just recently passed away, John Raymond Shank, and this is an obituary. So I might extract all the information I can from this obituary, starting with his name, birth date, March 7th, 1947, and death date. Now we'll scroll down here and extract this data. All right, let's see here. He was at least living in St. Paris, Ohio at the time in which he passed, that he was of St. Paris, passed away on Tuesday, December 31st. It doesn't say he was at his home when he passed away. So I might jot that down in my notes, but I'm not going to say that he died in St. Paris because that's not what the obituary says. John was born the son of the late John and Juanita Bear Shank. Now, when you see a woman recorded with a name in parentheses, that means that her maiden name was Bear. Sometimes it will also say Nee and then a last name, N-E-E. That means that was her maiden name. He married Carol Mahan, and there's the date. She's still living. They have 3 children. It mentions each of them and where they are currently living. A brother, Joe Tommy, and a grandson had preceded him in death, and talks about his graduation from Graham High School in 1965. So we might be able to extract then from there that if he was attending Graham High School, he must have lived in or near that vicinity in 1965. So that might help us out. And Graham is located in St. Paris, which is Champaign County, Ohio. Let's see here. He went to Urbana College, also in Champaign County, so probably he was living there for a while. He was in the Army for a time, also in California, so that might be helpful to know. And so from this obituary, we've gotten quite a bit of information. Now it's time to go back and start looking for the records to support this. So I always like to start at Family Search because it's free after all. I've already logged in, and I have to do that because I'm not going to be able to get the goodies that I want. And I start always with the individual right from the get-go, okay? So I'm not going to start researching John's parents. I'm going to start researching John a little bit more. So we've got John Raymond Shank. I'm going to choose the any option here. And I'm going to put in Champaign County. Even though I know that he lived in St. Paris at once, he went to school in Urbana, both were in Champaign County, I'm not going to focus so much on the cities or townships where any individual lived. I'm going to only focus on a county. And then I'm not going to worry about the year range, but I am going to put in a father here, and a mother's first name, Juanita, and see if that pulls up anything. Okay, I bet there were a lot of John Shanks in this area. Looks like that might be the case. Here's another John Raymond Shank, born in 77. Okay, so I'm not finding anything that's sticking out real real big to me. So instead, I'm going to go back and type in John's father, who is also John Shank, and put in any in Champaign County again. And this time, I'm going to put the mother's name in here, which was okay. Here they are. John Willard Shank. All right, let's click on this image. First, we'll click here. And this is just my abstract, okay? But I have here that John Willard Shank married Juanita J. Bear. They were from St. Paris, but they went over to Wayne, Indiana to be married. Typical, okay? Very common to go over to Indiana or Kentucky because you didn't have to wait after obtaining your marriage license then to get married. It mentions father's name, Jess Willard Shank, and Mary, and Juanita. So Juanita was the spouse. But you always want to check the actual record. So let's pull the record up. And for our family tree, we're going to need to extract as much data from this record as we can. Let's take a look at it. All right, this is the application for marriage license. So not the record, this is the marriage license. There it is, John Shank to Juanita Bear. We have the full name, John Willard Shank. So we would put that down there. He was born in St. Paris, Ohio, and St. Paris is in Champaign County. So when we record the birth of John Willard Shank, we want to make sure we write St. Paris, comma, Champaign, comma, Ohio, giving the date of the 13th of June, 1921. And he is a truck driver, okay. Full name of the father of this John Willard is Jess Willard Shank, also of St. Paris, Ohio, saying his birthplace was there, and he has died. So now we know that Jess Willard Shank has died before the date of this record, the 30th of September, 1946. All right, Mary Loannis, also born in St. Paris. She currently lives in St. Paris, so she is alive. This is the first marriage of this couple. And we have the copy of the marriage license. Here it is. Clerk of Court and issued this on the 30th day of September, 1946. Okay, so as you see here, this is just the marriage license. It does not mean the couple actually got married, but we could assume that they likely did, either that day or within a day or two. So this is a marriage license date. Make sure you get that down properly. This is not the marriage record. But let's go back and see what other records there might be. Aha, here we go. There's another one. Let's take a look at this. Now we've got her parents, okay? This is the marriage license side for the females, which was the next page. And so we can extract all this information that her first name and middle name were Juanita Justine Bear. She was born in St. Paris on February the 8th, 1921. Here's her father's full name, Raymond Moore Bear. Also living in St. Paris, which means he's not passed away yet. Her mother, Myrtle Pence, also living in St. Paris, meaning she has not passed away. And again, they have returned their date of marriage return and copy of certificate that afterwards, to wit, on the first day of October, 1946, the following certificate was filed in my office. All right. Charles E. Potter hereby certified that on the 30th day of September, 1946, I duly joined in marriage John W. Shank and Juanita J. Bear. So that is the date of their marriage. They got a license on the 30th of September. They were married on September 30th, and then it was filed on October the 1st. So excellent information here. Remember, we get to download or print or add to our source box these documents so that we can save them for our family history. Now, at this point, I would stop and pop over to Roots Magic and begin to add the information that I have been abstracting this whole time. John Raymond Shank, male, adding in a birth date. Let's really quickly he says in the marriage record that he was born in St. Paris. So we can use that at this time. He is no longer living. The date of death. And we don't know exactly where that death took place, so we're going to wait. And now we need to source this information. So the first thing we're going to do is add a new source. And what's so great about Roots Magic is they let you what's so great about it is that they have these templates for your source material. It's great. So I'm going to use this obituary one. Now the newspaper, it's not really a newspaper. It is, I'm going to put obituary. Actually, no, I'm going to put, it was from the, I think it was from the Shively funeral homes. Okay, so. And it was at www. Let me make sure that was a .com address. Notices. .com. John Raymond Shank. 31 December 2019. Online obituary. And I'm also going to put down here so that my footnote says John Raymond Shank obituary, Shively Funeral Homes. There's the website, the date, and it was an online obituary. I could even put a link here, which I think I will go ahead and do. And that adds that there. And I also am going to say accessed, because the day I accessed it was 9 January 2019. Now, I want to take a look here. I'm not loving this. I think I'm going to change this. There we go. I don't need that. I like to change my citations around to look different, which you can totally do with this. So you just kind of watch over here to the right. It says John Raymond Shank obituary. Yep, I like that. Shively Funeral Homes. There's the normal website. It was published on 31 December, citing this particular notice. That's the link to it, and I accessed it on that day. Fantastic. Love it. Now, when I put in Shively Funeral Homes, this is my master source, and that means I can always use this one again later. And so I don't have to type all that in. For example, here I would cite an existing source, Shively And see that part already pops up. And so then I only need to add this one, John. Okay, put all that in, click OK, and close. And so now we have a source citation for both the birth and the death. Then we just go from there. We're going to click his father's name. We know that his father is John Willard Shank. He is no longer living. We also got his birth date from the Indiana marriage record. Looks like we've got John's birth date as June 13th, 1921. Notice I'm writing my dates with the day and then the month and then the year. We don't have a death date for him yet, but this came from, and we're going to choose this time freeform. This came from a collection called Indiana. Let's see what it was called. Indiana Marriages, 1811 to 2007. It is online images database. Whoa. It's held at family search. There we go. And then down here, I'm going to put the day I accessed it, today, and then let's see about the certificate number and so forth. Let's see, it is volume 129. Actually, we can push the information right here. Volume 9, or volume 129. Volume. Let's make sure we got that right. And page 245. Okay, and then I'm going to look over here and see how does it look. Do I like this? Family search, citing Indiana marriage for Wayne County, volume, Okay, I forgot something, so I'm going to put John Shank and Juanita Bear marriage license is where that was. And the year, 1946. Let's double check, make sure that really is 1946. Yep, it is. Now I'm going to look here. Do I like this? For my source citation, marriage license, 1946. Excellent. And the master source name for this will be Indiana Marriages, 1811 to 2007. And these are from Family Search. Okay. And so now I've sourced his birth date and his birthplace. I could also make a note of it. John's marriage record, not his marriage record, marriage certificate. Okay, wonderful. And that's how you do it. You just keep going and going. So in our next episode, we'll see what other information we can find. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and fill out the rest of the pedigree chart with what we've found thus far. Thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.